Getting you up close to your favorite artists and giving you the chance to ask your questions live. This is another Energy 95.3 Artist Connection.
Ahoy, hoy. This is Robin from Energy 95.3. I'm talking with a living award right now, a living doll, Ms. Sofia Carson. Hi.
Hi, Robin. How are you?
I'm great. And, you know, I've been thinking about you for the past couple weeks because I've been thinking about how people were busy learning how to make bread or building puzzles during all the lockdown stuff. And I'm like, no, this girl has never stopped working.
Thank you, Robin. Well, I couldn't make the bread because I can't cook, and puzzles weren't for me, so I figured I should probably stick to work.
I mean, that's usually that's how it goes for me too, honestly. Yeah. And you've been working hard for so long too, for so long. The most important question I have for you is this. Have you ever taken a nap?
Recently, I'm sure I have. What I feel like
Aha!
You got me. It's one of the most common questions I get. It's funny enough. It's like, do you sleep? And I do. Sometimes I sleep very few hours, but I manage to rest. I just I'm really bad at saying no to opportunities. Especially when I love what I do so much, and I always think that I can do it all and take it all on, and then sometimes you need to sleep a little bit, but yeah. I'm just lucky. I get to do what I love.
You actually enjoy it, and so it doesn't feel like you're being sleep deprived then.
That's the thing. It's that even if I do wake up and I've had just a couple hours, I'm excited because I'm excited to go to work. So
that is awesome. And you have been at this for so long. I mean, everything with Disney and Pretty Little Liars, A Perfectionist, Netflix, and then music. You've been busy. You've been kind of sort of busy.
I've been lucky. Yeah, I've been so lucky to be a part of so many amazing projects.
I actually want to ask you about the Unicef U.S. Ambassador role that you have for the Latin Grammy Awards. What does that actually entail?
So those are actually two different things, but it's great that you asked. So I'm a Unicef ambassador, which is the greatest honor of my career. And, I always grew up wanting to work with Unicef, and Audrey Hepburn was always my inspiration. She was the first ambassador, which is really exciting. And then I'm also an ambassador for the Latin Grammy Cultural Foundation, which is a foundation that is dedicated to raising funds for scholarships to music students who can't afford to go to school. So it's really, really beautiful. I've actually met a couple of the musicians who have gone to Berkeley and some of the most renowned universities in the world, and they would have never in a million years been able to even go to school, and it changes their lives. So it's really amazing.
How do you feel that maybe some of these people grew up watching you?
That's wild. I mean, that will never be the strangest, the coolest thing ever. Or for instance, every Halloween, it's always the craziest thing when you see all the girls dressed as Evie. It's amazing.
Jessica says, I love you.
Oh,
so
I love you.
She said, Fool's Gold also talks about self-love. What is your daily dose of self-love? Thank you, Jessica.
Oh, I see the question there. Oh, wow. My daily dose of self-love.
Not a nap, apparently.
So apparently not a nap. So I don't know if this counts as self-love. I think it does. But, the pandemic has obviously been an incredibly difficult year for so many people, for all of us. And my mom has always said that happiness is a choice. And I thought I understood what that meant until the pandemic hit. And I truly realized that it is a choice to wake up every single day and choose to be happy. And I think making that choice is a form of self-love. Especially in the hardest days of the pandemic, is waking up and choosing to see the blue skies and the brighter days in the middle of all the chaos. So I think that's how I choose self-love.
Yeah, I think that's a great question, Jessica, and also a great answer, because I know for me last year, I had so many opportunities to do different things. And I'm like, I can just sit down and breathe for just a little bit and be thankful for being able to breathe,
Good for you. Yeah. I think it put everything into perspective.
And I have to ask you about Fool's Gold, the video for Fool's Gold. One, it looks like a Revlon commercial for you. I'm already
thankful I was wearing Revlon, so there you go.
That's a signature Sofia red lip right there.
Signature.
But the fire. I know you weren't completely around real fire the whole time, but you were a little bit, right?
I was, yeah. Obviously the one that in the video, the fire that is on me is all CGI.
Yeah.
But the real fire was the fire triangle. That was real. Which was so cool to see in person, as well as there's a scene where I'm wearing like a full-on red bodysuit, kind of like in a junkyard type situation, and there's fire like 20 feet behind me, and that was real as well. But the rest of it was all the magic of CGI.
Were you terrified a little bit?
I wasn't, not at all. And it's funny because my mom wasn't with me at the time, but she was texting someone from my team, and she was like, "Please tell Sophia to be careful. It's so clumsy." But it was super safe, and we had a whole team there of experts, and I was, it looked closer than I was, I guess, the magic of movies or music videos.
I like to think that you had just a fire extinguisher in the back of your clothing, and so that way, in case you needed to, you could Ghostbuster it out or something.
That would have been an excellent idea.
In the future, young lady. Yes. So with Fool's Gold, and there's also Hold On to Me, and I know you really haven't put out like a full album. Are we possibly going to be getting that sometime soon?
I am the biggest tease in the world, and all the fans who are here watching are probably saying, "Oh my gosh, there she goes again." But all I'm going to say is that Fool's Gold is the beginning of a story that I'm sharing with the world, and you shall be receiving the rest of the story.
How soon do you think we'll be receiving the rest of the story? No pressure.
Tomorrow, in a couple months, in a couple years. Who knows? I'm kidding.
It could be the longest story ever. It could be like this huge epic
story, right?
Yes, it could be, because it's never going to end.
Life. It just goes on forever.
That would, like how Adele does like 19 and 21 and blah, blah, blah.
Stages of her life.
You could do that too, but just never release an album, but put out like 400 singles. You could do that.
They'd be like, "Sophia, please stop."
How do you think your music's actually changed over the years? Like going from like Descendants to Fool's Gold now. I mean, like there's some real growth there, right?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, Descendants, as much as Evie is such a part of who I was, I never, it wasn't Sofia Carson, so I was telling, I guess, the character story in Descendants. But in terms of like my solo music, absolutely. I mean, I feel like every month that passes, I get to know myself more and more. I guess it happens as we grow up, that we become more and more in tune with who we are, and we grow as artists. And the more that I've been writing and kind of, I don't know, developing music, I feel like I come closer and closer to, I don't know. It's weird to say who I am, because then it would take away from the songs I've released in the past year, because that was me at that point in time. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. It's just like a lot of like steps, every era is just a different step in your life.
Yeah, your music grows up with you. And I do think that the last year taught me so many of us about ourselves and who I am and what I want to say. And, that's why this era of music is really exciting for me, because it just feels a little bit different in a great way.
I love that. And I have a not so serious question for you. It's kind of a goofy question.
Great.
But who are you listening to that might surprise your fans? Like, was there a band or an artist that you've been listening to lately that people would be like, really?
Gosh, I don't know if it would surprise them. I'm not that exciting. Now, of course, I blank on everything that I'm listening to, right as you ask that question. I'm like, I don't remember the last song I listened
Girl,
to.
I have a backup question, and it's even goofier.
Okay, give me a backup question.
All right. If you could be a Disney character, not Evie. If you could be a Disney character, who would you be and why?
I would be Belle from Beauty and the Beast. She was my first, I guess, love, or my first princess that I just adored. I grew up dressing up as her literally every year for Halloween. I was not a very creative child. I liked what I liked, and I stuck to it. And I loved Belle.
Costume too.
She just spoke to me, and I love that she wasn't a stereotypical princess, and that she didn't want to be saved by a prince, and she wasn't waiting for her knight in shining armor. She loved books and always had her nose buried in a book, and she was, I don't know, she also looked like me, and I feel like princesses before Belle were blonde, etc.
Yeah.
So I just felt connected to her.
I think that's a great thing. And, I think that you'd be great playing her on Broadway.
Well, thank you.
I think that you would fit that perfectly.
Thank you.
If anybody wanted to catch up with you and stay up to date with everything going on with you, where can they find you?
You can find me at Sofia Carson on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. I think Snapchat, if Snapchat is still a thing. I have Snapchat as well.
I know.
And TikTok.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you are adorable, and you are literally an award to me. And I think it's just great. And I thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to me today.
Oh, of course. Thank you so much.
Have a great week.
You too. Mwah. Love you guys.